Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Terra with Mayhem Crafty Cards, and today I am hopping along with some of my crafty friends to bring awareness to EDS, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a really great hop. There's going to be a lot of information. I know Alison, Michele, and I believe Amy are going to have a ton because they deal with it, every day. Every minute of every day they deal with it. So the first thing I want to say to you guys is to make sure that you guys are your own advocates when it comes to your health. I know firsthand that you have to be that advocate because there's so many things that goes on with your body that you are the one who experiences it. So you have to be your own health advocate. So for my card today, I am making a very simple black and white, because I don't have any zebra stamps, and that's what the disease is considered, is like the zebra disease. So I grabbed one of my favorite stamp sets for this type of card and recreated a card I've made in the past, and I really like it because the sentiment really just kind of gives you that, reminds you that to never underestimate the power of hope. Because everybody has to have hope. I mean, that's just, I find that to be very true. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information about EDS, even though I don't specifically deal with it. They've been, the girls have been great. They've given, all of us so much information. So EDS will often go undiagnosed or can be misdiagnosed. That's why I say you have to be your own advocate and, fight for what you think, is going on with you. So there are 13 different forms of it. It's a connective tissue disorder, so it can affect your entire body. Some of the different types are vascular, hypermobile, and classical. So there are some things to help diagnose it. So like being overly flexible, having like stretchy skin, bruising easily, and there is a genetic component to it. So if you have EDS, you have a 50% chance that you'll pass this on to your children. So that's what I'm saying. It's very important to, advocate for yourself. Now, I know Michele and Amy and Alison they're going to share their personal stories. So please make sure that you guys watch their videos in this hop. And I didn't know anything about it until, I talked to, they were sharing their experiences with us. So, yeah, make sure you check out their channels. I will make sure I have everybody's links listed in my description box. That way, if you get lost in the hop or if you want to go back to a video, I do have the whole lineup listed in my description box. So for this card, like I said, black and white, I don't mind not stamping perfectly because I'm going to cover some of the images up with my sentiment. And it is a pretty big sentiment. So I didn't, I'm not worried about perfect stamping in this. So if you have sentiments that you really like, but they're in other stamp sets, don't feel like you have to use that whole stamp set. Like, just pull that sentiment out. I just really like how the swallow image went so well with the sentiment. So the sentiment is never underestimate the power of hope. And I think I said that already. I'm sorry. So I don't mind not stamping perfectly because, like I said, I'm going to cover that up. So what I'm trying to do is just fill in the image, or, fill in the background, just the parts that aren't going to be covered up by that sentiment strip. And I did start out with the Misty, and that was, not the greatest of ideas because I knew I needed to fill up the sides, and it's such a kind of intricate stamp that you don't want to overlap a whole lot. So I'm just going to finish stamping that out, and I will, I really thought about heat embossing just with the clear embossing powder, but I didn't. As I'm watching the video back, I'm like, oh, I should have done that. But I just went ahead with it, and I just used the VersaFine Onyx Black just because I feel like it's such a crisp image, and it doesn't take as long as the VersaFine Clair to dry. So for the cinnamon, I am going to go ahead and heat emboss it because I think that white just pops so well on the black. So I went ahead and stamped that out with my embossing ink. I did go over the top of it with an embossing buddy, and for some reason it just that powder from the embossing buddy just wanted to cling so bad to that black cardstock. And that, I believe I'm using Simon Says Stamp Black. I have a few different brands of black, but I wanted it to be a pretty sturdy cardstock for this because I am going to heat emboss. And I did use the Brutus Monroe Alabaster White, and looking back, I really wish I would have used a finer embossing powder, fine detail white, instead of the Brutus Monroe. It's just a little bit chunkier. So I left this in where I spilled all my little baubles, all my embellishments on my Misty, because I was trying so hard to make sure that I was in a frame when I was stamping. And I was trying to keep the heat embossing on camera. I was like, oh, this is going to be so great. Everybody's going to be able to see the embossing powder melt because, that's the coolest part. And I wasn't recording. So, unfortunately, that's not in the video. But again, it happens. So, I did go ahead, heat emboss that. And I did go ahead and put, I wanted the cinnamon to pop up off of the background, so I did grab some of my black foam squares. I don't know why it took me forever to think of that word, but yeah, I used some black foam squares on the back. I did have white, but I just didn't want it to show through. And then of course I ran out of my big black ones, so I just filled it in with some of my smaller black foam squares. I am going to embellish the sentiment just a little bit. I didn't want to take away from the sentiment itself, so I did go ahead and I'm going to be adding some of the Trinity. I think they're called Bubble Bath. I'm trying to go through all my Trinity embellishments, but yeah, I just added those to the corners to my mix, and as you can see, there they are. They're just, I didn't want something super sparkly because, like I said, I didn't want to take away from the sentiment. And don't worry about any of you'll see that I get a big blob of glue that will dry completely clear and you won't see it at all. So like I said, I will make sure that I have everybody's links in my description box, and the person that is next on the hop will be listed as well. And so yeah, it's nice to kind of learn about, especially something you've never heard of before. Excuse me. It just helps you understand what somebody else might be going through, which is important because we all have our things. We all carry something with us, and it's nice to understand what somebody else is going through, even though you're not going through it yourself. So I did post a link in my video, and I will also put that link down below as well. And that has so much information on EDS. So yeah, make sure that you guys check out Alison's video. Oh, back to the card real quick. I did go ahead and put that on a black card base. I did not heat emboss the inside of it. That powder just decided it was going to stick so bad to the sentiment itself on the front. I did not want to take the chance of it doing that to the inside. So yeah, check out Alison's, Michele's. Like I said, they're all going to be sharing their stories. So until next time, guys. Bye.